The EV space sure is heating up. We got Rivian, we got Lucid, we got Tesla, and many others coming up. But I was really interested in Lucid as a company, so I wanted to make a video really addressing everything you guys need to know about Lucid. And, do they really make a better car than Tesla, or is Tesla still superior to every other EV on the market? So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. For those of you who've been following the EV space for some time now, you most definitely know who Lucid is. Lucid is probably one of Tesla's biggest competitors, though that doesn't say much because Tesla is so far ahead of every single competitor. But Lucid was founded in 2009, around the same time Tesla was founded, though I'd say Tesla was founded a little bit sooner than that. And it's been very clear that Lucid has been working aggressively to produce a car that stands a chance against Tesla. We know Tesla's been killing the game for the past 10 years, or really the past few years. So for a startup to really try to compete with Tesla, it's going to take a lot of work. And so I've come across a lot of videos of these Lucids, and I was like, man, this is a beautiful car. And you keep reading about the stats. Oh, their car can do more than 500 miles of range, when currently Tesla's top-of-the-line Model S Long Range Edition can do about 400 miles of range. So that's a pretty significant boost. Yes, it's a bigger battery. Efficiency-wise, I think Lucid's car is slightly more efficient, though Tesla's Roadster is supposed to do over 500 miles of, or actually over 600 miles of range, sorry, and it's going to be probably the most efficient EV on the market. But something I was very confused about is, man, this car can charge at like 300 kilowatt hours, whereas the Tesla can only do about 250. It has better range. The horsepower is about the same, maybe slightly more. I'm like, why would anyone get a Tesla, right? So I started doing my research into the different models that Lucid had to offer, and I quickly realized, man, now it makes sense. The Lucid Airdream Edition, which is obviously the car that they've been advertising the most because it's their top-of-the-line car, starts at $170,000. That's insane. The Tesla Model S Plaid starts at around $120,000, and the Tesla Model S Long Range is around like $90,000, though they keep increasing the price, so who knows what the price is going to be when you guys are watching this video. But it's mind-boggling that Lucid is trying to compete with Tesla by producing a car that's so much more expensive, and the market is way more competitive because there's less people who can really afford an electric car of that price. After doing some research, I discovered that Lucid has 4 main models. Their top-of-the-line model is the Lucid Airdream Edition. It starts at $170,000. It seems to be like a launch edition car that's limited in numbers. They say it's sold out. But this is the car that can do 520 miles of range, up to. It has over 1,000 horsepower. It can do 300 kilowatt hours of charge, which a Tesla can only do about 250, at least a top-of-the-line Tesla. That's pretty insane. And it can do about 20 kilowatt hours on just an AC charging. The next model, which is a little lower, is the Lucid Air Grand Touring, about $140,000. It can do up to 516 miles of range, has about 800 horsepower, and can still do that high kilowatt hour charging. So again, these are both more expensive than any Tesla ever produced. With that said, it's true that there really hasn't been any sort of EV progress in that sort of market, and so possibly people who are interested in a more luxurious car and are willing to pay that high price tag might be really interested in Lucid's car. Here is where things get really interesting and you guys want to pay attention. Lucid has 2 vehicles that can compete very well with Tesla's vehicles, in my honest opinion. One of them is the airtouring, and this car starts at $95,000. And who knows what the specifications look like and how high the price can really go, because we don't really know yet. It's not really listed, and they haven't been manufacturing it yet. But we do know that this car can do up to 400 miles of range on a single charge, supposedly. This isn't EPA verified or anything. But the horsepower, about 800 horsepower. So this car is probably going to be in direct competition with a Model S Long Range, and this is really good for Lucid in that sense. But Lucid also has an airpure. This car is really interesting because it's a $77,000 car. Again, starts at that price. It'll do the same range as the Air Touring, which is about or up to 400 miles of range on a full charge. But the horsepower is just slightly reduced, and I'm guessing there's going to be other interior differences between those two models. But those two models are super interesting because they will compete with Tesla directly in terms of price, in terms of range, and in terms of luxury, at least from what I can get on the pictures that I've seen online and in the content that you guys are watching right now. In summary, my goal with this video was to give sort of a general idea and sort of an introduction into Lucid as a company. I'm super excited for what Lucid has to offer, and Rivian, and hopefully other EV startups, because the future is sustainable cars and sustainable energy, of course. One thing worth mentioning before I end this video is the sheer reality of an automotive startup. Elon Musk has mentioned this many times. Every single automotive company, not even startups, just major automotive companies, have gone bankrupt at least once over the course of history, except for two automotive companies, one being Tesla and one being Ford. Tesla almost did go bankrupt, and I'm pretty sure this was in 2008. So Lucid and Rivian, they have a lot of things to prove. They're going to have a lot of problems with obviously like manufacturing, especially right now where there's like a supply chain crisis and inflation and all these different sort of variables. But they also have variables working in their favor. The infrastructure bill, bunch of tax credits and sort of gas prices being super high, so people are being really incentivized to go with an electric car. But let's see if they can achieve high production and break even cash flow. Legacy car manufacturers are finally going to get phased out for good. Aren't you guys tired of going to dealerships, having to deal with salespeople, having to get ripped off at the dealership, spending hours upon hours upon hours just wasting your life away? I mean, it's incredible. Tesla's sort of leading the field in just making the process super streamlined and easy. It's almost as easy as buying something on Amazon, if not easier. When I bought my Tesla, the experience was so great, and I really have no bad things to say about that. And the other EV manufacturers are sort of adopting this business model, which is absolutely great. The last point I wanted to address is our perspective of electric vehicles. I personally think electric vehicles are going to be seen more as a piece of technology as opposed to your standard gas-powered car that sort of ends up in a junkyard and gets depreciated like crazy over time, and it's a depreciating asset, of course. But with these new electric vehicles that can get over-the-air software updates, the depreciation isn't as relevant, and these cars are supposed to be more efficient, last longer, and essentially, the software updates that you can get over the air make these pieces of technology very comparable to an iPhone, though I don't think these vehicles will become dated like iPhones do. When you look at the Tesla Model 3, for example, when you look at a Tesla Model 3 from 2018 versus one from today, the differences are very minimal. Aesthetic differences are basically 0 to none. Maybe there's slight interior changes, but these cars come with the computers that are very important for full self-driving. So in the future, when Tesla does decide to sort of go into the robo-taxi space, as they are doing so right now with the full self-driving, a 2018 Model 3 could absolutely go to work. Those batteries, again, are rated for at least 500,000 miles, so it should be interesting to see how those cars age. Now, this isn't only for Tesla. A lot of other EV car manufacturers are going to pick up on this and sort of sell the cars with the appropriate hardware so that the software updates that they implement over the years will make it so that the cars are sort of very diversified and very capable of doing really great things. To summarize everything, Lucid is coming out with some incredible tech. I am super excited for what they have to bring to market, in addition to Rivian. I know Lucid, for example, has two cars that can compete very well with Tesla, whereas Rivian is sort of already leading the truck game, I guess you could say, with the Ford F-150 and the Cybertruck hopefully following pretty soon. But if you guys like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and please give us some feedback. We're a small channel, we're growing, we're learning, and we're here to stay. So we're looking forward to that, and see you guys in the next video.